Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, CAPNU just filed an 8K and I am seeing a key financial move that could signal a lot. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is extending its deadline to find a business to buy and they're getting cash from insiders to do it. So Cayson Acquisition Corp, or CAPNU as it is known by its stock ticker, is telling us about a recent event. The report is dated the 23rd of April 2026, but the earliest event it covers happened on the 22nd of April. This is a Form 8K, which is basically a report for big news that a public company needs to share with everyone right away. The company itself, Cayson Acquisition Corp, is a special kind of company called a SPAC. SPAC stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Company. Think of it like a company set up specifically to go out, find another company and merge with it, essentially taking that other company public. Cayson Acquisition Corp was actually formed in the Cayman Islands, and their shares, units and rights are all traded on the Nasdaq stock market. You can see here they have units which are usually a mix of different types of securities. These units are made up of ordinary shares, which are the basic kind of stock, and something called rights. They also have just ordinary shares by themselves and then rights separately. These rights are interesting. Each one basically gives the holder a chance to buy a small piece of a regular share later on, specifically 1/10 of an ordinary share, once the company successfully merges with another business. Now, the company is checking a box here that says it is an emerging growth company. This is a label for newer, smaller public companies that get some lighter regulations. But they also checked a box saying they are not using a special extended timeline to follow new accounting rules, which means they are sticking to the faster timeline. The main story here is under other events. This filing report is about Cayson Acquisition Corp extending the date by which it has to complete its planned business combination or merger. Remember, SPACs have a time limit to find a company and merge. If they don't, they usually have to shut down and give the money back to investors. So, back in March, the company had a big meeting where shareholders approved a plan to give the company's board the power to extend this deadline. They can push the deadline back month by month for up to a year, meaning it could go all the way to March 2027. But here is the catch, and this is important. To get these extensions, the people who started the company, like its sponsors and top executives, have to put in more money. They're calling these contributions, and for each month they need to extend, they have to lend the company $125,000. This money then goes into their trust account, which is where the money raised from selling shares initially is kept. This extra cash being put into the trust account also increases the price that shareholders get back if they decide to sell their shares back to the company before a merger happens, or if the company eventually liquidates. And that brings us to today's news. On the 22nd of April, the company announced that these insiders, those sponsors and executives, actually made that $125,000 contribution for the second month of the extension. This tells us two things. First, they are using the extension, and second, they are serious enough about finding a deal to keep putting their own money in. This is a common strategy for SPACs that are struggling to find a merger target within their initial timeframe. It is a way to buy more time without completely failing. The extra cash from the insiders can be seen as a positive sign that they believe in the company's prospects and their ability to close a deal. It also helps make the SPAC more attractive to potential merger partners because it shows financial commitment and a longer runway. Now, like most of these filings, there is a section with a cautionary note regarding forward-looking statements. This is a standard legal thing companies put in to protect themselves. They are basically saying that things they say about the future might not actually happen. They use words like aspire, expect, anticipate, and future to signal these are guesses about what might happen, not guarantees. They are telling investors not to rely solely on these statements when making decisions. There is also a no offer or solicitation part. This is just a legal disclaimer saying this report is not trying to sell you any shares or get you to buy anything. It is just providing information about what is happening with the company. And finally, the report is signed by the Chief Executive Officer Yawei Tao. This shows that the company's top leadership is aware of and has authorized this filing. So what does all this mean for Cayson Acquisition Corp? They are actively working to extend their life and find a business to merge with. The fact that insiders are putting in more money, $125,000 for the second month, shows a commitment to making a deal happen. This is important because many SPACs fail to find a target and run out of time, leading to losses for investors. By extending, they are increasing their chances. However, it also means they haven't found a deal yet, which could be a concern for some investors. The news itself isn't earth-shattering, but it is a necessary step for a SPAC that needs more time. It signals they are still in the game. The real test will be if they can announce and close a merger before this new extended deadline in 2027. A comparable here would be many SPACs that have extended their deadlines before eventually merging. For example, many SPACs that go through this process and eventually announce a merger see a significant rebound in their stock price if the merger target is promising. However, the flip side is that if they can't find a good target or the market conditions aren't right, these extensions can just prolong the inevitable disappointment. It is a strategic move to buy time and a show of confidence from the insiders. What I am actually looking for is news about the actual merger target. The extension is just a step, not the destination. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Check out the Discord in the description.